Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singer songwriters and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest is a Swedish-born, Canada-based, multi-award winning singer-songwriter. She also composes, produces, and mixes records. She has released 4 albums and over the last 10 years has toured extensively across North America and Europe. Rootstime Belgium called her one of the greatest talents of this era. She has played many international festivals, including Iceland Airwaves, Edmonton Folk Festival, Isle of Wight, Reeperbahn, and has shared the stage with artists Tallest Man on Earth, Buffy St. Passenger, Bruce Coburn, and many, many more. So, let's spill the tea with Sarah MacDougall. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
You've been in the game for a little while now.
Yeah.
And when I've talked to other artists, they have said to me, it was so much easier to write music when I was younger, in my 20s, when there was that passion, there was love, there was breakups, there was heartaches, and all of those things going on in my life. And now things have kind of smoothed out now that I'm in my 30s and 40s.
hmm
What's your take on that? Was it easier for you to write when you were first starting out in music, or is it has maturity given you another aspect and outlook on songwriting?
Um, I think in some ways it was easier to write, just because when you're just starting out, you're not filtering yourself as much because you're not like as self-conscious about what you want it to be. You're just kind of like, "Rah," and it comes out and um, you might do a little editing, but it's like, yeah, if it's like 5 verses and then a bridge and nothing else, then that's great. You know what I mean? Um, whereas the more you kind of see it as a craft and like you get more picky about what you like and stuff like that. So I find that maybe um, makes it slightly more difficult. Um, but I don't think it's so much getting older or like being more, content with life and stuff like that. For me, anyways, I think it's more just like being more picky.
How has your writing style changed over the years? You mentioned, and I'll quote you. You say, it just kind of that just came out there.
Yeah.
Is it more complex? Is it more thoughtful now that you're writing? It's 10 years, 4 albums, 10
hmm
years.
Yeah.
Is it more complex and sophisticated?
I don't even know if it is. But I think it's uh maybe in some ways it's slightly more complex because you're trying to do something you haven't done before. But I do really like simple songs and like I'm drawn to like simple songs and like complex arrangements, but still quite simple, if that makes sense. Like not, strange time signature that change and like, obscure lyrics and stuff like that. I kind of like things that reach reach you and like reach other people, like kind of immediate. Um, and so I think that's what I try to do. And sometimes that's harder in a way. So in some ways that does make it more complex because it is harder to try to like find the essence of something sometimes, you know.
What do you love about being a musician?
I love music. I love talking to people like yourself.
Mhm.
Um, I think mostly like I love playing shows is probably my favorite thing. And just like twiddling knobs in the studio.
Give us
But
the give us the good, the bad, and the ugly of touring. Many young artists would hear you say about touring and they say, "Oh, that's the life I want." Going
yeah.
sleeping till noon, touring around, adoring fans, doing whatever I want, staying in luxury hotels, and tell us what touring's really like.
Well, all those things do happen, like one out of maybe 20 times. Um, but yeah, touring is hard for sure. It's hard on your body. It's hard on your mind, like after a while. Especially if you do it full time, like I did for quite a long time. Um, and also the other downside of it is that you kind of lose your connection to home, like friends and stuff. Like they'll not call you as much because they think you're not home, or it's just that everyday kind of connection is hard to keep up if you tour all the time. Um, but you make a lot of like really great friends, you know, on your touring, and you get to like have adventures you'd never have otherwise. You get to see tiny little Canadian towns that you'd never go to, and you meet a lot of characters, and get to play music every night. So it's
So we have to ask you for
yeah.
a story from the road, Sarah. Do you have a particular tour that you went on, a particular town you visited, and performance that happened while you were on the road that just stuck in your mind for whatever reason?
Um, I do have like some shows in England. That there was one tour that was like a 6 week tour in England that was very interesting. It started with my guitar player and I coming into to London, Gatwick, I think in the middle of the night, and we were supposed to stay with my tour manager's brother, or not tour manager, publicist brother, and we got there at 2 a.m. and we get in there, we knock on the door, and he opens the door, and there's like a cloud of smoke coming out at us. And the whole place is just like fully smoked in. There's like cat vomit on the floor
Oh
everywhere.
no.
There's like this much dust everywhere. And then my bed smelled like probably like 40 sweaty bands had slept in it. And that's how our tour started. And then and then we kept having like bad luck after that. Like every day something would happen. We were like, this tour is just the bad luck tour. Until this is gonna sound really silly, but that's what happens on tour, especially if you just tour with one other person, that you get like really silly. Um, we came to this place where they had prepared, I swear, like 200 sandwiches for me and my guitar player for lunch when we got there.
Nice.
And and we were just like, okay, we're gonna eat one sandwich each. And then after the show, we went to the host's house, and they made us like 20 buns in the oven. And then when we didn't eat them the next day, they were like, please take all these buns and sandwiches with you. and 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 then we put one bun on the dashboard, and we started calling it like our lucky bun. And and after that our luck totally changed, and we had like the best tour ever. So that was kind of an interesting tour story. It's yeah, things.
Did you keep
You
that
have to
bun?
hold on to the little things. We did actually keep it for a long time. Like I took it home. I took it back to Canada and yeah.
Had it bronzed, and then it becomes the lucky
It
bun
actually
too.
never molded, which was very strange too.
Well, let's get into one of the songs that Sarah wrote. This song is the second track from the album All the Hours I Have Left to Tell You Anything, which was released in 2018. It has been called a full-blown anthemic song for those who dare to be different. So let's take a listen to singer-songwriter Sarah MacDougall with her song, We Are Fire.
A diamond in between is who you've always been. It's who you've always been. Half empty, half complete. It's how you're always seen. It's how you're always seen. You were made from moons, but you're not a monster. You're not a monster. You were made from wolves. So raise your head up high. Let your feet lift to the sky. We were made to fight. Don't ask why. Don't ask why. We are fire. We are fire. Glacier blue and white. Are you calling me? Are you calling me? Your eyes gleam of mountainside, and I'm falling in, and I'm falling in. You were made from wolves. So raise your head up high. Let your feet lift to the sky. We were made to fly. We are fire. We are fire. So raise your head up high. Let your feet lift to the sky. We were made to fly. You and I. So raise your head up high. So much left before we die. We were made to fight. Don't ask why. Don't ask why. We are fire.
That was We Are Fire by Sarah MacDougall. Sarah, tell us about that. Tell us about that song. What's the song about, and what was the inspiration to write that song?
Mhm. Um, The song is it's kind of about being strong in a way. It was inspired by a friend of mine who um every time they're non-binary, and every time they got kind of down, they would call themselves a monster, and kind of always feel like they would always feel like they were seeing like half people, or um half empty instead of half full, and and that had been on my mind for a while. And then I remember one day I was about to go into a songwriting session or write a song, and I wrote this person, and I said, "Give me one word, and I'm gonna start that in my song." And this person wrote between. Um, and that's why I started the song with a diamond in between. That's who you've always been. And that kind of then it went from there with the rest of the song.
So now you've got new music in the pipeline. You're looking forward to releasing some new songs coming up. How do
Yes.
people find out more about your music, your gigs, your concert, your tours, and what you are up to? What's the website? What are the socials that they can follow you on?
I have Instagram and Facebook. I'm mostly active on Instagram these days. Um, so Sarah MacDougall Music is where they can find me on both of those socials. I haven't really got into TikTok, even though I have a TikTok account. I don't have anything posted yet there. But Instagram is where it's at for me. And then I have a website, sarahmacdougall.com.
And that's MacDougall with an MAC.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. We have been in conversation with Sarah MacDougall. Sarah, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.